Hello, guys, and
Hi,
welcome to Kentucky session
Kentucky.
today. Yay, excited. So my name is Hani. I am the Education USA advisor at the Fulbright Commission in Prague. And today I've got two special guests. One is the Fulbright grantee, Janet, and then we have her husband, Brad, who is a comedian. And I'm so excited to say that.
Well, that's very exciting. Yes,
Yeah,
very
I love
exciting.
it. I love it. So, guys, thank you for taking us to Kentucky, at least virtually, and I'm excited to learn more.
Absolutely. We're excited. We um we have had such a wonderful time here in Czech Republic, and our time is nearing an end
Yeah.
soon, but we're just really excited to share with you about our experience in Kentucky. We
Mhm,
are originally from Indiana, both of us, and
mhm,
I took a position at a university in Kentucky.
Which one?
mhm.
You'll
Which
soon
which
hear. You will
one?
soon hear. And but it's interesting in Kentucky when you kind of go from Indiana. Indiana is kind of a lot of variety in landscape.
Mhm.
Some of it's flat, some of it's actually the northern part is even got some sand dunes and such. But when you get into Kentucky, it's all very rolling hills and green and lush and a lot of national parks
Mhm,
consistently throughout Kentucky.
mhm.
Yeah.
So,
And what's interesting is that we lived 40 some years in Indiana and we
Mhm.
moved to Kentucky in 2008 and I was like, ugh, Kentucky, but now really Bowling Green, I love so much of Kentucky. And if anybody that hears this in the next
Uh-huh.
month, if you're in Kentucky, go check our house. We need somebody to go check.
I actually have a question because there is this song playing in my head since, I know that we are recording Kentucky, and it's like the Kentucky Fried Chicken and
That,
Pizza.
there's a Kentucky Fried Chicken song. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. So it's the KFC, right? The
yeah,
fast food chain. So
Yes.
probably
I
the
keep
But I
thinking
don't know.
that.
I didn't know there was a
maybe this
song.
is jingle. Let
Maybe
me
Oh,
see.
here.
and
Well, let's hear it.
well, there is like a song, and you can dance to it, and it's like Kentucky Fried Chicken and Pizza Hut, McDonald's,
Oh my
McDonald's.
gosh, no,
Yeah.
we don't know
Yeah,
that.
that's not a thing
Oh,
in the
I'm
United
so
States.
glad we have that recorded, honey.
Yeah, we will have to look
Yeah,
that up.
awesome.
That's crazy. But what's interesting is that most people now that we talk to here, especially young people, don't know the K in KFC is Kentucky, nor do they know
Oh,
F is fried or the chicken they
uh,
probably get because KFC has done a really strong job of trying to cut the word fried mostly,
uh,
but also now people don't realize it's Kentucky anymore. So it's weird.
okay, I know.
Well, so some details about Kentucky, the
Mhm,
state. The state capital is pretty centrally located in Frankfurt. We have about 4.52, 4.5 million people in our population. We're ranked 25th, kind of right in the middle.
mhm,
Most populated states, 40,000 square miles, 37th largest by state.
mhm.
We are known for kind of worldwide, mostly for horse racing. That's probably one of the
Kentucky Derby
main
obviously
things.
is the largest, most watched event,
Uh-huh.
sporting event in the world.
And
Mhm.
it's fast. It's like a 2-minute race.
Yeah, 2 minutes. Yeah.
Okay.
We are also known for our alcohol. We have
Mhm.
a city actually named Bourbon,
Mhm.
Kentucky, where bourbon is made. We also have Jack Daniels
Uh-huh.
whiskey.
Jack Daniels is
Oh wait, no,
Tennessee.
that's
Jack
Tennessee.
Daniels is
Which
Tennessee.
one's the one?
Mhm.
There's the whiskey that's made. There's a whiskey made in Kentucky too.
Well, but it's a bourbon whiskey.
Maker's Mark.
Bourbon, you
Yeah.
can only get bourbon from Kentucky. Nothing else in the world is bourbon except out of Kentucky. That is the only bourbon in the world.
And it's like a special. I
Yeah,
think they
the
kind of
mash, the way
they're
they do the mix.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, guys, on
Yes,
the alcohol matter, and like
yes.
guys, I mean the people watching, there is a different drinking age in the Czech Republic and in the United States. You have to keep that in mind. So even though you
21.
are even though you are allowed to drink in the Czech Republic, when you are an American student or an international student, the rule is 21. So I know that bourbon is famous and delicious, but just keep that in mind. Yeah.
Well, and interesting, thinking of Tennessee and Jack Daniels, where Jack Daniels is made is a dry county. There's no drinking anywhere that Jack Daniels is made. So I know.
Wow.
Well, and fun fact about drinking age. So our daughter just visited, and she's 20. She just visited here in Czech Republic, and she goes to a university in Indiana. And so that was really interesting for her to experience and think, I can drink here.
Yeah,
you know, I'm
she had
20.
a few drinks.
But yeah, so fun. We are also known, our kind of our state song is My Old Kentucky Home. And we have a historical state park. We are known for automobile manufacturing.
Corvettes. We're the only, that's every Corvette is made in Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Yeah, I have a picture of that coming up too. We grow tobacco still. And we are known for bluegrass music, which is a very specific kind of country music.
A lot of banjo.
Yeah, a lot of banjo.
We're the bluegrass state, actually. We're called that. So.
Can you dance to it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think. Well, I don't know if you'd consider it bluegrass. Rocky Top is one of my favorite songs. That's really popular at weddings and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alexa, play bluegrass.
The station, Bluegrass, on Amazon Music.
Alexa, volume 10.
It was Rocky Top. So there you go, a little bit of bluegrass.
Alexa, stop.
It's excellent music, and I have a really good friend of mine from high school plays banjo and has a banjo album and stuff out in bluegrass music. We're known for, we love our basketball of all levels, you know, high school and university level. And then we also have Louisville Slugger baseball bats, and of course, like Brad mentioned,
wooden bats, most famous wooden bats in the world.
Yes,
Sluggers.
and like for baseball, and Kentucky Fried Chicken, which people know now as KFC, and we have the Kentucky Colonel, which is connected to that. You want to tell a little bit about?
Well, obviously Kentucky Fried Chicken, Colonel Sanders, if you remember. Well, so he was a Kentucky colonel. He was not a colonel in the military. We have a thing called Kentucky colonels, which the governor can make you a colonel if you have shown yourself in some sort of capacity to be, usually it's in charity or just the governor likes you. So they'll make you a colonel, and then you get to be a colonel. Women, men, doesn't matter. It's more of a charity and also a service organization.
Cool.
We do have some famous people, you know, just to show you the diversity of types of people that come from here. But we have George Clooney, of course, a famous actor, and his grandmother is from Kentucky as well.
Aunt.
His aunt.
His aunt is Rosemary Clooney from, you know, White Christmas and other films 100 years ago. For your time.
Johnny Depp, of course, everybody
Johnny
knows
Depp
Johnny
is
Depp.
from Kentucky, yeah.
Cage the Elephant Rock Group is from Bowling Green, which is actually where we live. And one of my close colleagues, close friends, dated the one brother that's not in the group.
Okay.
Of the three brothers that are in that family. So that's kind of a fun little fact. Loretta.
Gotta go back.
Whoa, I didn't mean to do that. Loretta Lynn is we have a lot of country music people.
Can see him, you're gonna have to point out.
And we have Muhammad Ali, the fighter.
Of course.
And Jennifer Lawrence from Katniss Everdeen from Hunger Games.
Fun fact about the Hunger Games, I went to college with the girl who wrote the books, Susan Collins, is that her name? She didn't talk to me, but we were in the same actual theater department together. So.
So cool.
Billy Ray Cyrus.
Other-
Then other things, as you can see, we are known for our Corvettes and
Mhm.
Corvette Museum and Manufacturing in Bowling Green. And to the right, you see the cave system. Mammoth Cave System is the longest cave system in the world
Mhm.
that's been discovered. So we can always wonder if there will be a larger, longer one discovered, but so far it is the largest. What's interesting about the two of these combined is many of our yards and our like drainage system and
Mhm.
a lot of things are impacted by the cave system in Kentucky in our area because it really is expansive and goes throughout the region.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, yeah, two things. One, very few of us have basements. Nobody digs too deep.
Mhm. Mhm.
And the Corvette Museum, along with the plant, they have a few years ago, they collected the 10 most expensive Corvettes in the entire world. They had 100, millions and millions. One of them was worth 3 million, all in their main rotunda, which is that room that you see right there, waiting for a big event. Well,
Mhm.
all of a sudden, right in the middle, the ground starts to fall away. A
Mhm.
sinkhole was being created. So I watched this on video. If you can still watch it on YouTube, if you push
Mhm.
Corvette sinkhole, you can slowly watch. It's in the middle of the night. These Corvettes just falling into this hole. Just all of them. It opened up so much it destroyed the top 10 most from around the world. They'd collected from collectors all over the world, and they've only been able to restore 4 of the 6. So they
Oh,
still
wow.
have 6 of the damaged Corvettes that are worth nothing now.
Mhm.
That's just can happen anywhere in Kentucky. Just a sinkhole will open up and suck up your life.
I don't
Oh.
have a huge amount of colleagues, but 2 of my colleagues in my department of 20
Mhm.
both had sinkholes in their yard that they had to have filled. So that just tells you how common it is.
Wow. Uh-huh.
Of course, we have the horse races, like we mentioned
Mhm.
earlier. Here's a picture, a snapshot of that big event. And then there's the bourbon barrels of
Mhm.
the distillery. So.
Nice.
So, Bowling Green is where we live,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and it of course is the home to Western
Third
Kentucky
biggest city?
University.
Second or
Mhm.
third biggest city?
Third,
Yeah, because Lexington, Louisville,
Yeah.
Lexington, us.
yeah. We have a Capital Arts Center of Performing Arts called
Mhm.
SkyPack. It is really great. That is kind of a newer thing that we have in our city.
It's an
We have
1,800 seat,
Mhm.
and what they're doing now is they're making acoustically sound theaters now, where
Mhm.
you can stand on stage, no mic, and talk at a regular level, and everyone in the room can hear you.
Mhm.
It's
Wow.
amazing. Yeah, they still mic everybody, but
Mhm.
you can if you wanted.
Mhm. Mhm.
So we do have the Corvette Museum. We have Lost River Cave, which is shown at the bottom of the screen here, which is a
Mhm.
really unique cave right in the middle of town. And when you walk in, which is not what you're seeing here, but when you walk, there's a bunch of trails leading up to it, which is beautiful. You can go there on a daily basis and walk the trails. But when
Mhm.
you walk into the main entrance, it's a ballroom. It's a cavern that's a ballroom, and it has a chandelier hanging down
Uh-huh.
from it that they've, made it into a fancy ballroom. And then you can go down and you can do the river cruise in
Mhm.
the cave system. So that's a unique thing. We have Beach Bend Amusement Park, which
Mhm.
is a family-owned business similar to Holiday World in Indiana.
Mhm.
About half the size.
Yeah, but it's smaller,
Yeah.
and it's family-owned originally.
Mhm.
Cheney's Dairy Barn. It is something that I spelled it wrong. I just realized. It is very much a destination that everybody wants to go to experience the variety of ice cream, and it's all made on site. And
Wow.
yeah, very, very neat. And then we have a lot of hiking and
Mhm.
a lot of this is just one of the trails. But we are an international refugee center
Yes.
city.
We have
Mhm.
we got over 5,000 Bosnian refugees
Mhm.
20 some years ago. We've just gotten a lot of Afghan refugees.
Mhm.
Uh, also interesting. We are also known that you didn't mention, but you remember this now. We have more Frisbee golf courses than any place I've ever seen. There is literally, if you like Frisbee golf, we have a ton.
What is a
of
Frisbee golf?
So
I know what
It's
is
golf
Frisbee.
with, you know what a Frisbee is, you know what golf
Yeah.
is. Well, we have these areas that are like golf courses, but you throw Frisbees, and then at the end, not a hole, there's this basket. And you throw the Frisbees into the basket. It's a huge sport in the United States. And we just have like 20 of these courses, and all these courses also have walking trails around them and stuff like. We have a ton of nature walking trail things all over town. It's very
That's
interesting.
cool.
and they're beautiful, and they're in beautiful settings. Like we have one actually right on our campus.
That's true.
Kentucky University's campus.
Yeah.
Which is fun because you'll be walking through campus and you'll
Get
see
hit in the head with a Frisbee.
Frisbee flying by. But it's a big draw for people. Louisville is the second largest. So we've gone from Bowling Green to Louisville.
Is Louisville bigger than or smaller than Lexington?
Louisville. Oh, actually, they are the biggest. They're the
Yeah, I
biggest.
think Louisville's bigger.
then
You don't pronounce the S at all, right?
Yeah, it's Louisville.
Oh, okay. I
I'll
would
say,
spell it completely
Louisville.
differently. Louisville.
It's not
Yes.
Louisville.
So,
No.
the fun thing that people always say is you can tell when people are from the region or where. It's there's so many things that way in Czechia versus Czech Republic, right?
Yeah.
So it's things like that. But yeah, when I was growing up in Indiana, we called it Louisville. And then people phonetically say Louisville, but if you're from Kentucky, you say Louisville.
Louisville. Yeah.
Wow, this is like, okay.
And the big joke is, how do you pronounce the capital of Kentucky? Louisville or Louisville? No, it's Frankfurt. So
Okay, yeah.
Frankfurt's a very small town. It's not very big at all. So everybody thinks that Louisville is the capital. And it's
and the Frankfurt is also misleading, like towards Germany. You know, my mind went because there's an O. Yeah.
It's Frankfurt and not Furt. Yeah. That's, we also eat Frankenforters here, so not Frankenfurt.
Okay.
Stop.
Well, so Louisville is where the Kentucky Derby takes place, the horse races. They have Churchill Downs, Louisville Mega Caverns, which is over to the right, which is a really crazy picture as I see it on the screen.
That is, what is that? They have ropes. It's so interesting. The caverns mostly are used for storage because there's miles and miles and miles of it. You get lost if you don't know. I mean, huge trucks take goods because they're always at 60, 70 degrees. It's always like one temperature. They're caves. So companies pay to store things that they need preserved at this exact temperature in these miles of caves. But then they have a bunch of the caves where they have a ropes course and also and zip lining. And during Christmas, there's like 5 miles of drive-through Christmas lights where you drive around. And the cave is only, 20 feet wide, and it goes, and it's just Christmas lights for miles where you're driving through these caves. And it's, if you're claustrophobic, it's big. You can, because people could get lost. You could get lost forever in the caves because of all the different, paths. It's wild.
But the ropes looks amazing. That's just like a place to spend your afternoon.
And the zip lining too.
Yeah.
Underground zip lining is wild. It's wild.
It is, and I'm kind of afraid of heights, and it was for adventuresome people. It's really a good kick because it was a little bit scary for me, but I did it.
You're underground zip lining 40 feet up. It's really weird.
It's an experience. Wow. Yeah.
There's the Louisville Zoo. It's placed on the river, so there's a lot of river-oriented things that are happening, and they have the museums like the Muhammad Ali History Museum and Conrad Caldwell House. There's a lot of other ones too that we didn't mention. Lexington is, so we've decided, second largest city in Kentucky. It has a horse park in Keeneland. So they're considered kind of a companion, I guess, to Louisville in some ways, because they have the horse capital. They raise the horses. They breed the horses.
Louisville doesn't have any horses. That's where Churchill Downs is, but Lexington is where all the horse farms are. All the horses are trained and raised. Well, not all, I mean, obviously, and people all over the world. I mean, like the Saudis and the people they have horse farms there where they train a lot of their horses, because it's a worldwide race. I mean, of people that own, just really rich people that own horses.
And then there's the Mary Todd Lincoln House. Mary Todd married Abraham Lincoln, and Abraham Lincoln is kind of there's a lot of his life he spent in Indiana, but also in Kentucky. So there's a lot of connections.
He was
to Abraham
born
Lincoln.
in Kentucky.
Arboretum State Botanical Garden and Raven Run Nature Sanctuary are just some of the other beautiful things.
William Shatner. Do you know who that is?
I do.
Captain Kirk. Captain Kirk is from, he's not from there, but he has a horse farm in Lexington.
He lives, I just forgot about this. He lives right down the road from my cousin who lives in Versailles. Versailles. They say Versailles.
They say Versailles.
That's another difference. Instead of Versailles.
They should say Versailles, but they say Versailles.
Okay.
So here's a map. I forgot I had this. So here's a map of Kentucky, and it's kind of cutting off the characteristic shape of it, because it looks a little bit more like, the side of a hand, or the shape of your hand. But you can see in the bottom left-hand region, you have Murray State University, and then to the southernmost, we have kind of Northern Kentucky University, and then over to the far east is more the Moorhead and Eastern Kentucky are some of the bigger institutions. And then in the center part of the state, closer to the capital, we have, of course, University of Kentucky, Transylvania University. They're all really close together. Asbury University, Center College, Berea, University of Louisville. But WKU, of course, is considered kind of the Western Kentucky. It's kind of starting the western part of Kentucky.
Now, Berea College is...
We're gonna talk about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then Murray's down there too. So college. Okay.
So for WKU, actually, you can hand me that, Brad.
What? These papers?
Yeah.
Okay.
So for WKU, we have, of course, our mascot, which is Big Red. And it's one of my favorite things about our institution, because we always have students that are the mascot, and Big Red will show up at so many events, and he is just delightful. It's almost like
chess
magical.
Matches.
It's like it's magical. He's magical. I've had 3 students now that have been in my classes that I didn't know until they graduated.
And they can't tell anybody. No one knows who they are until they graduate. And when they walk across the stage to get the diploma, they show the hand. They wear their hands. And then now everybody knows that they were a Big Red.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's really neat. And there's just so much personality. And Big Red has been nominated for, and in the finals every year, for best mascot.
Yeah.
Or favorite mascot of college institutions across the United States.
So who is he? What is he?
He is a hill. He represents the shape. We are the hilltoppers. We live on a hill. And so a lot of it, the connection is that he just represents the shape of a hill, that he's also our spirit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And interestingly enough, a company in France stole Big Red, created a character for their company that is just like Big Red, and WKU sued the company, and the company tried to say that the guy made it up, but he was quoted as saying, "I liberated this mascot from Kentucky for our product," and they lost and had to pay almost $4 million to WKU and stop using the character.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was crazy.
wow.
I know.
But he also goes to, openings of things and
Mhm.
hospitals and just, and there's how many big reds are there? Probably 15, 10, because everything, soccer.
Oh, you mean at a time?
Yeah.
There's probably about 3 to 5.
Yeah. But they go
Okay.
to so many events and everything that happens, big
Mhm.
reds, there.
And they always know each other. Like if they look at the picture of themselves as Big Red, they'll know by the shoes if it's.
Oh, okay. All
So
right.
my students tell me, yeah, I can tell because I had these black shoes, or
That's Carol.
yeah. But we are the Hilltoppers, and another thing that we're known for is the red flag.
Uh-huh.
Here is one that happens to be printed with my department, School of Teacher Education, but it is our spirit flag, and it
Mhm.
started with Coach Diddle in Diddle Arena years ago. But at games, football games, basketball games, everybody will bring a flag, or they give them out at games, and people will wave these for spirit, to show united effort. But at graduation, everybody gets a flag on their chair, and then
Uh-huh.
when their degrees are conferred, everyone waves the red flag. It's so cool.
I can't remember how it got. I don't know if it was on my chair. I have a master's from there.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
It has your year on.
Uh-oh. Padl mi internet. Nebojím.
Like your name's
Yeah,
on it or
no.
anything. So yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
I have one.
Yes, very, very cool. So we are known for, I was going to tell just a few other things. We are known for
Because we're better than everyone else in Kentucky. So all you kids out there want to come someplace.
our undergraduate population. We have undergraduate total enrollment is 14,700 as of fall
Mhm.
21. We have gender distribution of 38% male
Mhm.
and 62% female students. 35% of the students live in college-owned, operated, affiliated houses, and 65% live off campus.
And they just
Mhm.
built what they call the freshman village, which is
Okay.
beautiful brand new dorms done just a year ago, all
Mhm.
right in one section that only freshmen live in. And
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah, so a lot of camaraderie.
Mhm.
Have College of Education and Behavioral Sciences. So teacher education is a big major on our campus, especially elementary or
Mhm.
primary in European terms. We have Health and Human Services. We have a really great nursing program and physical therapy program.
Mhm.
To mention a few things, we have Gordon Ford Business College, which
Mhm.
has everything you can imagine with a business degree, accounting and economics being two of the larger ones. We have Ogden Science and Engineering. Engineering is a really strong major in our college that a lot of people don't know, or a university that people don't
Mhm.
always think of us for engineering, but we have a great engineering program.
Mhm.
Biology, chemistry, pre-med, a lot of pre-med
Well,
students.
about to have a medical school. Isn't the medical school going to be
Yeah,
through WKU?
we have a partnership through yes. And it's a partnership with another institution. So
Mhm.
yes, but it's a great opportunity as well.
An interesting
Mhm.
thing, also something that obviously students from here can't access, but also on campus, there's a 2-year school called the Gatton Academy that our daughter
Mhm.
went to, and about 100 students a year are chosen from the top students in the state. They spend their last 2 years of high school or gymnasium, it would be here,
Mhm.
at the university. They literally move into a dorm with all these other
Okay.
students. There's more supervision, they have more rules, but they literally go to college for their last 2 years. So when our daughter got out of the Gatton Academy, she had already finished 2 years of college and could have finished in another 2 years and had her bachelor degree, but she wanted us to spend a lot more money and go 4 years still. But
So is that like manageable with time, because you still have to study at your high school and then you're taking.
no.
It
No.
replaced
Okay.
her
It
high school.
replaces your high school.
Oh,
Literally
okay.
move to the university, live there, and
It's like a boarding school.
yeah, it's like a boarding school.
Oh, got it.
And you
Okay.
take Yeah, you've already finished all your high school. They are ready for you to take
Well, and this
college
is part
classes.
of, they have it aligned so that it's counting
Yeah.
as the finishing of your
Yeah.
high school.
Yeah, you do
Got
get
it.
high school
Okay.
credits too.
But it's a
for-
STEM
Mhm.
academy, so they have to focus on a STEM
Yeah.
major: science, technology, engineering, or mathematics.
Yeah, computer
And my
science.
question is that only for Americans, or can an international student in his
Only Kentucky students can do it.
Oh, only Kentucky
Have
student.
to
That's
be-
very
yeah.
prestigious. Okay, got
Well,
it.
Indiana has one at Ball State too for
Mhm.
Indiana students, and other states might have them too.
Mhm.
But Gatton is probably one of the top. It is the #1 high school in the United States.
Okay.
They
Mhm.
stopped ranking them because Gatton won every year.
Okay.
Another thing that we're known for, we have the Potter College for Arts and Letters, which is
Mhm.
for the liberal arts, and we have an incredible art program and a new program on video game design and art and
Mhm.
video game design, which
Oh.
just recently, yes, it's kind of a just very new, that I don't know a lot about it, but I know enough
Mhm.
to know that it's very neat.
Mhm.
It's joining a lot of different professors from different departments on campus because of all of that interdisciplinary stuff that goes into that.
Mhm.
And we have an incredibly well-known, and I didn't know this until my daughter heard from her institution, that our folklore department is incredibly well known throughout the country. So folk studies and folklore,
Mhm.
also anthropology is a big part of that. And we
Mhm.
have music, theater, dance as well.
Yeah, the musical
Mhm.
theater and theater department's really strong.
And one
Mhm.
other thing that's really important for us to share too is there's the Mahiran Honors College.
Mhm.
So as students are applying, as all of you might be thinking about applying to Western Kentucky University, and you are likely eligible criteria-wise and academic
Mhm.
accomplishment-wise for an honors track, you want to apply also to the Honors College, and you
Mhm.
get extra support, extra smaller classes in some cases, extra
Mhm.
seminars of interest. And it's just another layer to kind of ensure that you're getting the challenge that you want and
Mhm.
rigor that you want.
I have a weird
That's
question.
really cool. The honors college. Okay. All right. Mhm.
So it's there's Pierce Board.
Okay.
Okay. So Western Kentucky University, here's just one more. There's the tuition,
Mhm.
average price, and student loan, and the acceptance rate, as you can see, is really high.
Mhm.
It is really highly ranked in journalism and broadcasting. We
Mhm.
have an incredible program, education, engineering, business. But we also have a speech and debate team that is like, they win the national tournament almost every year.
Mhm.
21,000 students grace all of our campuses. So we have the main campus, but we also have regional campuses in Glasgow, Owensboro, and Elizabethtown. And just added is, oh my gosh, I'm going to forget the name of the town. Somerset.
Ah.
Somerset
Mhm.
just
Mhm.
added as
Mhm.
well. So, and we have a lot of ways that we can give access to those regional, more rural communities too.
I think that, going back to the previous slide, I saw that there is a tuition, but there is the net price, like after the financial aid. That's amazing. Like in comparison with other schools, there is a very generous financial aid, assuming, by what I see. So that's really cool. Does that include also like the room and board, or is this just the tuition?
I am assuming it does not include the room and board. Usually it
Mhm.
does not. And I got this from the web. So,
Mhm.
and all of the ones I've included are from the same site. So I'm assuming they did it the same way. But
Okay.
in our experience as parents,
Mhm.
it's usually not including room and board,
Mhm.
which is, kind of an extra layer sometimes.
Yeah.
But
For in-state tuition and room and board, it would be a lot less, but because
We would have to see whether the Czech Republic, might have a sister city, and I haven't checked that, but when there is a sister city, then the Czech Republic students can be considered for in-state tuition.
yes, there
So,
you go.
guys, if you can check, whether the state or the city is a sister city to the Czech Republic, then you are considered as an in-state tuition
Well,
applicant. Yeah.
and Kentucky is more open to that than almost any other state to have.
Yeah. Cool.
Kentucky does more, gives in-state tuition to more states around us, more people than I think any other
Especially
state.
at our institution.
Especially
Mhm.
Western
WKU.
Kentucky. Yeah, Western Kentucky does. Yeah.
We have, for
Mhm.
example, one of the campaigns we've been doing is a teacher tuition rate that is
Mhm.
lower than even our it's lower than our undergraduate rate for graduate work for teachers to come back and get their graduate degrees. So
Wow.
it's really appealing to the need for teachers. We want you to come back and get your education with us. And we
Mhm.
understand that you are not as well paid, and we're it's a recruitment tool, really nice recruitment.
Mhm. Mhm.
So the next institution that we have is University of Louisville. It is, of course, in the northern part of the state, and our state, remember, is shallow lengthwise. Like Indiana's like
Mhm.
this,
Mhm.
Kentucky's
Mhm.
like this, right?
It's shaped kind of like,
Yeah, but
that.
it's thin. It's thin to drive through, but it's wide.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
It's got a big hump. That's
yeah. So University of Louisville is they're the Cardinals. They are known for academic excellence is really a big part of their work. My daughter has a friend that's there as a journalism major,
Mhm.
and see other things that they're ranked according to just a lot of different things with excellence, a lot of pre-med
Mhm.
and liberal arts degrees. They, you can see they're nationally ranked 182 out of 443, and
Mhm.
just an all-around solid, long-standing institution. It is more expensive than Western Kentucky University. A little bit. It's still public, but it has a little bit more of a feel of a private institution. Um,
Mhm. Mhm.
so, anything else?
well, interesting thing about, okay, so Western Kentucky is a pretty big university in a town. Let's say there's how many students at Western again?
It was,
25,000 or
I think it
something,
was, yeah.
something like that. And the
Mhm.
town has about 60,000. They're kind of in a mix between, everyone knows that it's a small town and a
Mhm.
nice university. Louisville is an urban university. Louisville's a big town. The
Mhm.
college is right south of downtown. It
Mhm.
is set, you can walk the perimeter and know exactly when you're on campus and off campus. And if you want that in-city urban experience, you can feel it at the
Mhm.
University of Louisville. I mean, you can
Mhm.
feel the planes landing over the campus. And a lot of people love that feeling where you're in a big town, where you've got a lot of urban stuff going on. It's
Mhm.
kind of like, Charles is in an urban town, right? And although this is one campus, whereas WKU is more of a normal small town university where the campus is bigger and the
Mhm.
town is smaller. So
And you,
Mhm.
like from Western Kentucky University, you can walk. The whole campus is on a huge hill. So we're at like, my office is at the bottom of the hill, and you walk up to the top of the hill for other colleges and
Mhm.
the university. But it's all on one campus. Same with University of Louisville. It's all on one campus. And then if you
Mhm.
leave the campus, then you have other things you can go to. Like at
Mhm.
WKU, you can go walk to downtown.
Mhm.
And downtown includes a traditional square and the
Mhm.
shops around the main square.
Mhm.
University of Louisville is a little bit different, a little bit more urban, and
Mhm.
like Brad said, it's close to the kind of in the airport area and a little bit
Mhm.
more urban.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. So, University of Kentucky, everyone, including schools in Indiana, consider University of Kentucky a major rival. And
Mhm.
it's all kind of going to that whole sports and basketball. You either, like, if you're a sports fan, you either love University of Kentucky or you are not a fan of University of Kentucky. We consider them a big rival, kind of like we consider Purdue a rival in Indiana, but they are a really premier institution. You can
Mhm.
see some beautiful pictures here. Their cheerleading squad, for example, is something they're nationally competitive and they do
Mhm.
really well. But
Mhm.
their football and basketball are always excellent. They are the
Mhm.
Wildcats, and
Mhm.
this is just a little picture of what the Wildcat looks like. But they also have the mascot you can see at the top of the little tower
Mhm.
there that they built.
Mhm.
But it's in Lexington, Kentucky, which is closer to kind of if you are looking kind of the central eastern part of little bit east central
Mhm.
part of
Mhm. Mhm.
Kentucky. So here's some things about it. You can see the acceptance rate is really high.
Mhm.
University of
Mhm.
Louisville, of the three we're sharing, is the more challenging to be accepted to. The
Mhm.
tuition and the net price, you can see here the prices. There's 29,000 students, almost 30,000 enrolled as of 2020, 87.5% full-time students. Um,
Mhm.
it's a it's the
It's
biggest
huge.
institution,
The campus is
and the campus
huge.
is all on one campus, but
Yeah.
and they've done some building and have some new parts of their campus.
Mhm.
We were just there for a speech tournament. Our daughter was on a competitive speaking team in high school,
Mhm.
and they would always hold the state competition at University of Kentucky. So we got to experience the breadth of or expansive
Mhm.
campus because of walking from building to building and judging area to judging area.
Mhm.
And so just a lot of room and space.
The University of Kentucky is in a big town. Lexington's a big town, but the
Mhm.
University of Kentucky feels like it takes up half the town, right?
Mhm.
It just feels that way. And it's right near the downtown. Where if you look at U of L in Louisville, it is a little bitty dot in this huge urban town. It's because the campus is about one third the size, and it just feels like a little dot. Where the University of Kentucky just feels omnipresent at all times.
Mhm.
Lexington.
Yeah.
I love that it says that it's a place to dream and succeed. It's like,
It is.
wow,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And one of the things that I think is really neat about this institution too is it's in the top 10 that you can see as nationally safest
Mhm.
for safest, and it's most educated, best value business for school for business and employment opportunities. They
Mhm.
um, they have been considered very open to all students of all kinds. So
Mhm. Mhm.
just sexual orientation
Mhm.
and ethnicity, everyone is accepted at University of Kentucky, and they're really making great efforts to show and enforce that they are um, living up to that. So I think that's
Mhm.
important to note, especially in these societal times when
Mhm.
things are being challenged often.
Except for Big
Right.
Red. Big Red, when he goes there, there's there's a fight. He or she. Big Red is not a he or a she.
Okay. All right.
So, other amazing youth institutions that neither one of us know as much about,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
some really great colleges and universities in the state. And these are not all of them. We have so
Mhm.
many community colleges,
Mhm.
and community colleges are places that you can go for 2 years usually, and then go your last 2 years
Mhm.
at one of these institutions, likely. But some that we know a little bit more about, Northern Kentucky University is in an area, it's really interesting. They're almost in Cincinnati,
Mhm.
Ohio.
Mhm.
They're
Mhm.
really close. They're just right across the border, and it's almost hard to tell if you've left Cincinnati. So that's kind of a nice little area there if you
Mhm.
want to be close to a bigger city and close to, bordering two states. They have really great programs there. I know their
Mhm.
math education program there is really wonderful. Murray State University is on the eastern part of the state,
Mhm.
and they have it's a little bit smaller, and
Mhm.
as well as Northern NKU is a little bit smaller as well. But
Mhm.
Murray is really well known for teacher education as well. It's
Mhm.
probably maybe a little bit less, not quite as many teachers come out of their program as Western Kentucky University, but it's still a really great teacher education program. Eastern Kentucky University is in the eastern part of Kentucky. And it is one of my daughter's best friends from elementary school is on the track team there. And
Interesting thing about Eastern is that when we talk about how the university feels in the area, Eastern feels like the only thing in the area. It is just this massive university, and you don't even know where the town is. I mean, it's so wild up there.
Yeah, it is.
That you don't even, it's like I'm in the middle of nowhere and I'm at this big university and I know nothing else around me. It's really wild. It's a beautiful place, but it's just, I think they have a movie theater somewhere. That's it.
So
Murray State University is a very quaint little.
Yeah. The community there is so nice. It's such a small kind of
Paducah
yeah.
area.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they have a National Quilt Museum there, which
Aw.
it is really nice. Morehead State University is closer to kind of the Lexington area, so University of Kentucky area. And they have a STEM Academy for juniors and seniors. They have one of those on their campus now. So we have two of those in the state of Kentucky. Berea College is probably, out of all of these, the most unusual on this screen, because the way that it's set up, if you get accepted to go to Berea, it's supposed to be free tuition, or really almost free. So you do things along the way in your education to add back and provide, like artistic contributions and ways to raise money for your efforts, but it's very much based on volunteerism, and it's a beautiful town. It
really is.
We had not
in of
been there
itself,
before,
yeah.
and we took our daughter for she had a conference there that she presented when she was at her STEM Academy, and it was there, and we'd never been. And they have a main square with really lovely shops and cafes and restaurants, and it's just it's an older town, older city, but it's very mountainous. Lots of hiking and such. So it's rural. So rural, we mean so not very heavily populated, kind of remote, maybe would be a better word that you all might know. Transylvania University is
Where the vampires go.
Yes, and really close to University of Kentucky. It's really smaller, urban, but we have a friend of the family goes there for an art major, so it's more liberal arts. Lindsay Wilson is a very much smaller institution, right off of the interstate, really accessible, and but it's a smaller feel. If any of the students on this program want to go to a smaller school, Center College is a very premier and highly ranked private institution, and really known for excellence too. I would say it's similar to University of Louisville, but it would be private. Would be. And then Asbury University is like Berea, it is kind of religious foundation to the university, and smaller. And Kentucky Wesleyan is also religiously based and smaller, and its main location is in Owensboro. I think Owensboro. But almost all of these also have sporting teams and things like that. Anybody's interested, but if you want the big sporting events, you know, the bigger the institution, the more kind of spirited events you have of that kind. So it depends on what kind of feel you're looking for. And I believe that's the end of our slides.
Okay.
So
yeah.
So you can think of?
I think so far so good. I'm excited. Thank you so much, Jenna. Thank you so much, Brad, for taking us to Kentucky, for introducing everything. Guys who are watching, please, if you have any following questions, feel free to send me an email to advisor@Fulbright or through social media at EducationUSA Czech, and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have about Kentucky. So
All right.
get a KFC
Great.
today.
Yeah.
Good luck, everyone.
We'll see you there.
Thank you.